8 ways to protect your energy as an introverted empath.
Your generous nature and highly developed senses are a gift. However, if they are not looked after properly, there is a chance that they will be lost. If you are an empath, please keep this list handy in case the outside world causes harm to your inner world. Those who are sensitive and intuitive are able to quickly pick up on the emotions and psychological problems of others, and they often project these problems onto themselves. Therefore, it is important to distinguish your aura from someone else's and regularly cleanse it of negative energies and foreign vibrations that surround us, so that there are no cracks and losses of energy. If you're not careful, it can drain you and eat away at your own life force, and you may begin to view your gift of empathy as a curse rather than a blessing. It is extremely important to use all of the coping mechanisms described below, so that you do not waste your beautiful energy on things that do not value it.
1. Don't feel bad about saying no.
There are a lot of people who don't take no for an answer, but you have to force them to take it. If you are more empathic, this is especially true because you are an empath. You have a harder time saying no than other people, and as a result, others may take advantage of your energy and time to help them. They will ask you for things even if you are not feeling well or don't have time. And this is the point where you need to be careful. If you don't want to be taken advantage of, the best answer you can give is a clear no. People who don't respect your time and energy probably shouldn't be in your life at all.
2. Don't let others violate your boundaries.
Having boundaries involves more than just the ability to say no. They extend to other areas as well. These boundaries also include making time for yourself, not responding to messages, avoiding arguments, and separating yourself from people who don't benefit your well-being. It is important to remember that if you are an empath, you should avoid wasting precious energy and mental power. An empath is a person who understands other people better than they understand themselves, but who must also make an effort to understand themselves. As a result, empaths often lack clarity about their own emotions. What you need to know is that sensitivity makes you vulnerable to suffering. You can prevent suffering to some extent by setting healthy boundaries and keeping your heart closed until you really get to know the person.
3. Meditate when things get too much.
Life can be challenging at times, and this is especially true for empaths because they have a greater tendency to be deeply influenced by the energy that surrounds them. They should try to replenish this energy through meditation, rather than engaging in activities such as overeating or watching a particular show. When you are going through difficult times and the people around you are draining you emotionally and mentally, you need to remember this. The best way to do this is to go somewhere calm, light some incense, and focus on your own heart. Also, surround yourself with things that will immediately lift your spirits and give you more positive energy, perhaps crystals, gifts received from very close friends, pieces of art, or even candles with your favorite scent.
4. Take the whole day to just relax.
Because they constantly absorb the negative energy around them, empaths tend to experience more exhaustion than others. This applies not only to absorbing the negative energy of people close to you, but also to absorbing their suffering. Even if an empath simply sees a hungry animal in trouble or a beggar on the street, this is enough to completely change his mood. They are affected by all the suffering and sorrow that surrounds them, and it ends up becoming very tiring for them. In addition to their own pain and suffering, they are also responsible for the burden on their shoulders. Therefore, there are times when they just need to take a break from everything and be a little quiet.
5. Remember that you should always choose the good, no matter what happens.
Unfortunately, although empaths invest a significant amount of their mental and physical resources into helping others, they receive very little of either in return. These are the ones who, ironically, give a part of themselves to others without expecting anything in return, only to be forgotten and abandoned. Because of this, empaths often wonder if they should change and if what they are doing is right. Why should you help other people and be a good person if it causes you so much inconvenience? Even if you are not an empath, you should still follow this advice because any negativity you put out into the universe will eventually come back to you. Even if you feel pain and resentment right now, you should know that as long as your hands are clean, happiness awaits you at the end of the tunnel.
6. Stop rewarding negative people around you.
One of the most insightful sayings to remember throughout life is that bad behavior should never be rewarded. Always keep in mind that breaking these words will only lead to negative consequences. As an empath, you constantly try to justify the actions of others, even though those around you may not do the same for you. By living these words in everyday life, the empath is protected from being disrespected and taken advantage of. After all, they can't expect to not be hurt by people who don't even appreciate how many times they've had to get burned to keep their peace.
7. Replace negative thoughts with positive ones.
Empathy is a gift that allows us to connect with others, but to do so we need to sacrifice a part of ourselves. If you want to be able to empathize with others without suffering the consequences, you need to develop a strong sense of self-worth, no matter what's going on or how much negative energy you receive on a daily basis. This practice will help you stay focused and grounded. Confidence breeds strength, and you'll need a lot of it if you want to maintain empathy. You also begin to understand that not everyone deserves your celestial energy, so you learn not to take things personally. Some people will use this energy against you just because they think you are weak, but in reality you are the strongest.
8. Learn to be selfish and put yourself first.
Every exhausted empath is simply a person who has forgotten to put their needs above others. No, you can't always be the loving emotional nurse who makes everyone well again when they are unwell. At the end of the day, you only depend on yourself, so there are times when you need to be selfish. Empaths are known to give a lot of love to others, but since they don't receive half of that love in return, they tend to limit their generosity to those who deserve it most. Therefore, even if you have the desire to shower the whole world with all your love, you must realize that it is too valuable to give to individuals.